California's COVID-19 case rate is now the lowest in the continental U.S. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee in for Barbara Lee Edwards.
I'm Carlo Chiquetta. Over the past week, the state has averaged less than 2,000 cases a day. You may remember it was just last winter that California peaked at more than 40,000 new cases a day. But even with the strong vaccine rollout, the virus is still a threat.
More than 200 fully vaccinated San Diegans have still tested positive for COVID-19. News 8's Brandon Lewis has more on what all of this means. Brandon?
Marcella and Carlo, there's actually a name for this. They're called breakthrough cases, meaning the vaccine has essentially broken through the protections of the vaccine. But it's also important to remember that this was not completely unexpected.
We expect to see those numbers. They're very, very low, and emphasizes how good, frankly, the vaccines work.
More than 200 San Diegans have tested positive for coronavirus despite being fully vaccinated. At less than 1/3%, it's a small fraction of all the shots given, and health experts say it's not all that unexpected.
We see this with all vaccines in clinical trials and in the real world. No vaccine is 100% efficacious or effective, which means that you will always see breakthrough infections regardless of the efficacy of your vaccine.
And just because they tested positive doesn't mean the vaccine was a bust. Of the 203 people, more than half had no symptoms and none have been hospitalized.
This is really encouraging news. It demonstrates that what we've already discussed about these vaccines, they also help you prevent from getting seriously ill.
While that's good news for now, researchers are concerned about future mutations.
These bugs are very clever when they mutate. Not that they think it out, but they do adapt, and so it won't be good.
Vaccine makers say they're studying whether patients will need a booster shot in the months ahead. But for now, the focus is on getting everyone their first dose.
So all these transmissions going on increase the risk of mutation, increase the risk of new variants until, bingo, we get that really nasty variant with high mortality for young people, resistant to vaccines.
Locally, the number of breakthrough cases is about 3 times higher than the national average, although county officials expect it will soon balance out and stress the number is still low overall.
We're a little bit higher. We actually expect to see higher numbers locally than they report at the national level because the reports first come locally and then move up the chain.
The county points out even those who did get sick from the coronavirus despite being fully vaccinated haven't needed hospitalization, and it shows that the vaccine is still highly effective, and so far it doesn't appear to be having any effect on demand, at least locally. Marcella and Carlo.
Numbers just in from the county show 281 new COVID cases today. That's 2% of the latest 17,000 tests. COVID hospitalizations went down by 1 today for a total of 186. The number of people in the ICU with COVID went up by 1 for a total of 57. 3 new deaths were reported today. The death toll stands at 3,684 here in San Diego County. Tonight, the county says it is nearly 43% of the way toward its goal of vaccinating 2/3 of San Diegans over the age of 16. The UC and Cal State University systems announced today they will be requiring all students, faculty, and staff who are returning for on-campus classes this fall to be fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
This requirement will take effect under 2 conditions. The vaccines must get full FDA approval. Right now, they are only approved for emergency use. And the approved vaccines must be widely available. School leaders say the requirements will allow people to seek an exemption for medical or religious reasons. Policy details are still being worked out.
Border Patrol agents are looking for nearly 24 people who were part of a human smuggling operation after a panga boat washed ashore in La Jolla. This happened just after 5:30 this morning near South Coast Boulevard in an area known as Whale View Point. Officials say there were at least 22 people on this boat. All got away. The boat's engine and several gas cans were found along the beach.
The city of San Diego is taking another step toward its goal of cutting greenhouse gas emissions 50% by 2035.
Mayor Todd Gloria today announced a new pilot program to use solar power to charge the city's electric vehicle fleet. The city will use a device called an Electric Vehicle Autonomous Renewable Charger, or EV ARC for short, to charge up 5 cars at once.
It's so important for the city to lead on the transition to zero-emission vehicles by accelerating our efforts to convert municipal vehicles, as well as helping facilitate the broader success of zero-emission vehicles here in San Diego.
The city is partnering with a local company, Beam Global, which will evaluate the EV ARC for the next 6 months. Making history today, women became Marines for the first time here in San Diego County. More than 50 women out of 400 recruits completed MCRD's first co-ed boot camp.
It ended today after the 54-hour-long grueling Crucible Challenge. News 8's Heather Hope shows this final exercise from Camp Pendleton.
And they did it. 53 female Marines made history, being the first female Marine recruits to be trained here in San Diego County. Pushing themselves harder than ever before, 53 women became Marines for the first time, along with nearly 400 recruits, part of the Lima Company. Standing at just 4 feet 11 with 2 fractured femurs, Ramey Aldridge of Texas completed Marine boot camp.
Been in pain, of course, yes, but I'm also feeling very proud and confident.
A rigorous 13-week training closing with the last day Crucible.
This is the first time female recruits were made Marines on top of this hill.
For the first time in its 100-year history, Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego trained women.
A lot of people say that we couldn't train females here at Marine Corps Recruit Depot San Diego, specifically because of the hills of Camp Pendleton.
And the hills weren't easy.
It was really hard, really made me feel the burn in my legs.
I refused on that part, and I made it up that Reaper today.
19-year-old Poway native Ann Margaret Frazier followed in her Marine father's footsteps and is grateful she got to train for the first time ever in her hometown.
I was expecting to go to Parris Island, but when I was told I was going to San Diego and I would be making history, it's something like I couldn't pass up.
Going 54 hours straight with only 3 meals in that time, carrying 55-pound bags, these Marines were motivated to finish.
In a few short moments, you will be forever transformed.
Getting to a momentous point, going from civilian to Marine.
They received their Eagle Globe and Anchor, which is the coveted symbol of the United States Marine Corps.
The symbol brought tears to many Marines' eyes. The group joined together in song.
We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine.
Proud to learn from top female instructors, paving the way.
Right now.
No shortcuts.
So the females of Platoon 3241 did nothing different than their male counterparts.
Women making a huge step to prove this is possible.
If I can do it, anybody could do it.
All the Marines here just finishing a 4.5-mile hike. They'll be able to rest a little bit before then going through some more training, taking some time off before graduating on May 6th. Heather Hope, News 8.
Thanks,
Pretty
Heather.
neat to make our mark. Yeah.
Hoorah, congratulations,
Yeah,
your history, and it's here in San Diego. Love all of it.